never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Player ratings for Crystal Palace 4, West Ham 3. We've had 24 hours to reflect and see how shit we really are. At the bottom there is Clive, over there. And over to my right is the main man, Lucas. Lads, I'll quickly get started with this before we get into it. Lucas, what's your thoughts now? 24 hours on.
Still shit. Again, I feel like once we not turn a corner, but we put together like a little string of quality together, and then we do a complete 180, and all the performances we say like that was the worst performance of the season. The next one is just like hold my beer, watch this, bad.
Yeah. And
yesterday was pretty awful. Some people are saying it's due to fatigue, a lot of matches being played. I get it, but at the end of the day, you're a professional, so you kind of got to move on, get it done. And yesterday doesn't really matter. It was really bad. It was piss poor, and the scoreline doesn't reflect at all how the match went. I honestly cannot believe we scored more than a goal.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. Clive, 24 hours on.
Yeah, I don't think the alarm bells need to be sounded quite yet. I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean, you look at today and you really do think surely there are three teams that are dead and buried almost at this point. Two at least guaranteed. It's just that third. But I mean, if you look at the form of the other teams, I don't think we need to worry quite yet. And we have seen a better run of performances or a turn of form somewhat. It's just unfortunate that went the way it did, considering our next two games. I think that if you try and put a positive spin on it, if VAR hadn't fucked us around for the last two games, we'd have 2 points.
I think it's easy to say that, though, but when we hold 4 against the Crystal...
After yesterday's results, after we lost, I feel a bit more at ease, especially with Brentford somehow miraculously coming back to secure 3 points against Nottingham. After that, I felt a bit more at ease. And tomorrow's going to be a big one for us. If Leicester and Everton draw, I'll actually feel safe. I think
that's the ideal result, isn't it?
That is in my opinion. And again, we all hate having to depend on other teams, but that's just the reality of the situation. I genuinely think if Leicester and Everton draw tomorrow, I would say we're about 90% safe. That's just my opinion, though.
Problem is, lads, and I'm going to say this before we get started, we shouldn't be relying on other teams. We should do our own shit, but that just tells you how shit we really are at this season. Let's start off with this man. Lucas Fabianski. Lucas to Lucas. Take it away, mate. He held 4.
It's the same this whole season and even a bit last season. It's just the same thing every single week. He has honestly a fantastic run of form. Then he has a horrendous run of form. And then he somehow just finds himself back into the mix after, like, you would think he's about to be on the chopping block to get benched. But yesterday, again, just not a good performance at all for me. It's just not good. Yesterday seems so long ago now, but I'm trying to.
First goal. First goal.
First goal.
He's got to be saving that.
Near post. Disgusting.
He's got to be saving that.
1,000%. And that is just reflexes alone. Areola saves that, no doubt in my mind.
The second goal is not his fault, though.
Yeah, the second goal is not his fault.
That's Aguerd. Aguerd's right in front of him. Now what he can do.
But still, again, second goal for me, there's not a lot he can do, but there's still... If that
third
was
goal. No, you're on a third goal.
I'm running out like a man with my hair set on fire. I just wouldn't stand there. And he gets megged for the goal.
I would say like the second goal is nothing to do with him. It's more West Ham defensively than it is anything else. I think the third goal is him and Souček, and the fourth goal's a penalty. What are you rating him, Lucas?
And again,
Give
it's
me a
just
rate.
nothing to rave about yesterday. He did actually make one decent pass from the back, which Ariel was routinely, but apparently Ariel is not as good of a distributor as Fabianski. I'm gonna give him a 4 because the first goal is honestly criminal, in my opinion.
I'll go next.
And that's 2 weeks in a row now.
I'll keep mine short and sweet. I'll give him a 4 also. I thought the first goal, he's got to be saving it. I'm sorry, it's near post. Like he should be. If that's going across him, it's a bit different. But at his near post, he should.
Positioning was as good as you can get, but that is all down to reaction.
Yeah. The second goal that Zaha scores, it's not a lot he can do. The third goal is him, Aguerd, and Souček as a free. Yeah. And obviously the fourth goal is a penalty, so I'll give him a 4. Clive, what are you rating him?
Yeah, I'll make mine short and sweet as well. It's a 4 as well, so treble 4. But what I would say on the first goal is I don't even necessarily think it's a case of the fact that he couldn't save it. For me, you need to be able to touch that. He didn't even touch it.
Like the same thing with the Gakpo goal. Post. I don't care if it goes in, but he's got to get a finger or a hand on it.
Exactly. And the thing is, if you do get that slight touch, because it is on the near post, 9 times out of 10 that will hit the post. That 1 out of 10 where it does go in is just unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he didn't even get a hand on it. So yeah, 4.
4's all round. We move on to this man. Cool. Fucking awful. Vladimir Coufal. Clive, I'll let you go first on this one. What are you saying for him?
Yeah, he looked out of sorts, didn't he? It's just I'm playing back in my head all of the goals, and not even just that. He just looked like he was. Zaha had his number, basically.
Yeah,
that's probably the best way of
that's being polite.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like articulating it right, but Zaha just had a field day. Like, if anything, it was criminal that Zaha didn't get more goals. So I think
he ran up in his gaff and stole everything he owned.
Yeah,
that's basically what happened.
And Coufal is sort of at fault for the second goal, which allowed for Zaha's tap in. So there is that aspect, but he didn't look great. He looked out of sorts. He just couldn't handle the pace of Zaha. It's concerning, but I mean, to be honest, I'd still, even with that performance, it's still probably a better performance than Johnson would have provided. So take that how you will. The other thing for me was his passing accuracy, which, to be honest, across the board was poor in this game. The passing was diabolical. So yeah, I think looking at all those aspects, it's just not great. I think I'm gonna just about give Coufal a very, very low 4. It could be a 3. I think 3 is probably a little bit more fairer, but I'm feeling a little bit nice right now, so we're gonna go with a low 4.
I'll go next. I'll give him a 3. I'm with you in everything you just said. I agree with you, but I just look at him a bit different. He's been very, very good, and yesterday he was absolutely fucking atrocious, just really, really bad. Like he got rinsed. We've got a problem, gentlemen, with our left back and right back. Well, because we've got no pace, and that is a problem. It was just poor, terrible, out of position so many times. Passing was terrible. Hoofed the ball up the line. Mitchell called it for a long time, and people slagged off Mitchell on Twitter spaces and everything, and they're not slagging him off now because he's fucking 100% right. Every time Coufal gets the ball, he just hoofs it down the line, and it's going nowhere, basically. So I'll give him a high 3. That's me being very, very kind. Lucas, what are you saying?
I don't think pace was the problem yesterday. I actually thought just his one-on-one defending in general, Zaha just had him on toast all day. And yeah, you gents have said everything basically that I was gonna say. But I love Coufal. I absolutely do with all my heart. But yesterday, an easy 3. It was a day to forget about for sure. And I don't think he'll have another stinker like that again. I actually believe that might have been his worst match ever. For me, I can't think of.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, it's one of his worst. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
So
in his top 5.
I have never in my life seen him
Yeah.
get roasted and dominated as much as he did yesterday.
Yeah,
Ever.
it did get done. Right, let's move on to Zuma. It's obviously going to be a quick rating because he got injured. So, what you lads rating him quickly?
4.
I'll give him a 5. I think when he went off, and what was the score when he went off? Was it 1-1 or 2-1?
That goal was that
1-1,
defending was very poor from him.
Yeah,
I think
he was stuck in quicksand.
He was the architect of his own injury as well.
Yeah, I'll give him a 5. What are you giving him, Clive?
I'm going to give him a 4 because that first goal was his problem. He failed. The defending was poor. He ultimately, the way he tried to defend to cover himself, led to his own injury. Silly boy is all I can say.
He was on his heels instead of on his toes.
Yeah.
Always is, mate. Let's go to this man, Naif Aguerd. Fucking mixed bag day for him. This one, I think we're all going to clash on this one because people say about he's passed for Souček. I disagree. If my defender can't pass it to my midfielder, then we've got a problem. Because it ain't the defender's fault; it's the midfielder's fault for not controlling the ball. He's unlucky with the penalty, in my opinion, and he scores the header to gives us a chance of a comeback. I'll let you go first, Clive. What are you saying for him?
Okay, so it is going to be a tough one. I don't think this will be fully a clash. I know you don't agree with the Souček one, but in my eyes, I do.
Just to cut in there,
get to that. Go on.
Thomas, thank you very much, mate. £5.
Thank you, Thomas.
We do
mate.
all appreciate it, mate. It softens the blow, Thomas. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Clive.
Yeah, so I think for me, the issue I have with Aguerd is he was kind of at fault for 3 of the goals. Ultimately, I don't agree that it was a penalty.
It's not a penalty, mate.
It's not. I don't agree that it's a penalty, right? I'll just clear that out. But ultimately, the penalty was given. He is at fault. Because ultimately, the timeline is we've conceded that goal because of that penalty being given, and he is at fault, right? Then, looking at the Zaha 2-1, he blocked off Fabianski in the build-up. So that's another issue there. And then there's the passing to Souček. Now, I have rewatched that video of what led to Souček's horrific 3, 4, 5 seconds, however long it may have been. And there were other options for Aguerd to play out to. And that is the point where I say Aguerd is at fault. I looked back at it because I was like, at the time when we had this discussion yesterday, after on the afterthought, I thought to myself, I need to watch it again and again and again. Now, I watched it maybe 4 or 5 times. Aguerd could have either passed back to keeper. Aguerd could have passed to the left back. Although I'm not a big fan of that because you would then be squaring the ball across the box, which in terms of when you're being brought up in football, you just don't do that. So passing back to the keeper is the obvious choice. For me, Aguerd's vision should be, you see Schlupp is coming in at Souček. Souček is at fault for the heavy touch and is at fault for the failure of then getting it and them scoring. So
it should have been a first-time pass as well from Souček.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not in any way saying Souček is not at fault. My thing is Aguerd didn't have the vision.
I disagree. I really, really do on that. I really strongly disagree. If my defender can't pass to my midfielder, then what's it leading to? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
But I'm not saying. But you wouldn't pass to someone who's literally.
This is the point, though. It's Aguerd's vision.
Yeah, like it's the vision. For me, the way we've
you never pass a ball, in my opinion, to a midfielder.
Sorry about your ice cream man, people. These fucking jingles going off.
Yeah,
I will have a 99 later. Listen, I'm going to say this, right? I understand what you lads are saying, but if Thomas Souček had awareness of when the ball's coming to him and awareness of the player that's going to be pressing him, surely Thomas Souček should realise that and own it, really. Like, I'm not being funny. He should barge the geezer off the ball, or If not, foul the geezer. But the problem is he couldn't foul him because he was on a yellow.
Wouldn't you trust a guy that is looking at the defender closing someone out rather than someone
also
receiving the ball? He doesn't have eyes behind his head.
Just not to make this about Thomas Souček at the same time, but just on your point of the yellow card there, I would like to point out that the gap in the middle, which also includes our centre-backs being an issue here, the gap that was so present, Souček had made that foul 5 minutes earlier and knew he was going to get a yellow card because he knew that was the only option. So he'd already taken himself out of doing that anyways. But look, like I said, I'm not saying Souček's not a fault. I'm just concerned that Aguerd's vision should have been better in that sense. And ultimately, he has effectively been involved in some sort of format, whether we like it or not, for 3 of the 4 goals that have gone in.
Yeah, but we will get to Souček, so I'm going to make this about Aguerd, and we will get to Souček. Right?
So, anyways, looking at the passing, it wasn't great from Aguerd overall. The amount of passes he should have made versus what he did make was not great for him. I think he had about 65% accuracy. It's not great for a centre-back, to be honest. But there are some plus sides. He made quite a few clearances in the game, a couple of interceptions.
Right.
It wasn't a great performance. He obviously did get the tap in the tap in of a header, kind of a header, whatever it is, for a goal. So that does give him a little bit of a increase on the rating. I guess on that aspect, he gets a 5. It's a very average game. I expect a lot better from Aguerd.
Yeah, I'll go next. I agree with you. 5 out of 10. Disappointed. That's coming from me. The penalty, it's not a pen. Right? I don't care what anyone says. If that's a penalty, the game is dead. It's just dead. Right? I strongly disagree about the Souček thing. If my defender can't pass it out to me midfielder, then we've got problems. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying about he should be aware of what's around Souček, but Souček should be aware of what's around him and make the space for him to receive the ball. He scored the goal that got us sort of back into it with a bit of hope. The passing was poor. 5 out of 10. Lucas.
All I really have to say, this comment says it all for me. Fabianski got part blame for passing to Aguerd versus Newcastle, so how does Aguerd not get part blame for passing to Souček, knowing how shit he is? He pulls the player down for a soft penalty. Don't. I really don't have to say anything else after that. Aguerd's defending, poor. He did make some clearances. His passing was shocking.
Yeah.
He did score a goal, but that unfortunately will not boost him to a 5 for me. So he's going to get a 4.
4 out of 10 for Lucas. We will move on to this man. I think this is going to be a heated one and all.
Yeah,
Emerson. I'll go first. I understand people saying about his defensive awareness, but when he's left one-on-one all the time and he's not getting no cover from another man that we will get onto later, then that's not really good enough, really. Like, I did not see no cover for this geezer yesterday. Don't get me wrong, he was shit. He was shit, and I'll say it quite openly. He was absolutely fucking atrocious. But what's the man got to do when he's 2-on-1 all the time? Do you know what I mean? He was poor. He got hooked at half time. I'm going to give him fucking a 1 out of 10. And that's me being kind. It's me being fucking kind, mate. Will you tell me what
Worse than Aguerd? Oh, my goodness.
He played for 45 minutes. We held 4. He did not score a goal, right? And you're telling me you want me to give him as close to Aguerd. The geezer done fuck all, but I'm not going to blame it all on him. That left-hand side was embarrassing, mate. Embarrassing. Like, it was just, there was nothing on that left-hand side in the whole match, just to say that. So I'm giving him a 1, Lucas. You tell me what rating you would give him, because you tell me what he deserves.
I feel like I should
that was one of the worst. That was one of the worst individual performances of the season.
He gets a 1 for putting the shirt on, bro. That's it. Do you know what I mean? You got to respect.
Unbelievable. I'm not even in the mood to argue that. For me, Emerson, I honestly think that is one of the most preposterous ratings of the year.
Well, tell me why.
I will tell you. So
go ahead.
I didn't think Emerson was good enough at all.
Right.
He was pretty much a passenger throughout the whole first half, and he did get beat defensively. He did win 2 out of his 3 tackles, half of his ground duels, and he only attempted 14 passes, which he completed 10 of them. So, but for me, it was more of a passenger's performance for me, and I just think it's funny how he gets hooked at halftime when other players do not, especially throughout the whole year, which is just weird. But again, I'm not saying he was good. I'm not saying he was good at all. But a 1 is preposterous.
But two of the goals come down his side. That's the first thing. Yeah. So he's at fault for that. He's out of position multiple times. Two of them. The other goal is on Souček. The first goal and the second goal come down his side. Do you know what I'm saying? The ball comes in for Saha for the second goal. The first goal, AU's out fucking in between him and fucking Aguerd. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't understand how.
I'm going just a 4.
Fuck me, bruv. 4? Fuck me. I know we held 4, but give him a 4. Fuck me. Take the piss. Fuck, not a chance. But I love you, but I disagree. Clive.
Hello. I will bring some unity in between here, I think, for now. But what I'll say is, it was shambolic on the left-hand side.
And you know what? And and he did deliver the corner in for one of the goals.
That's where I was going to get. I think, look, he was at fault for at least one of those goals. He slipped, didn't then get the ball. Then, that's on him. You can't say, because Fornals hadn't tracked back or anything like that. That one's solely on Emerson. He fucking slipped. Own it, take it, accept it. He has to. That's my thing. The thing is, and this is what impacts the rating, I guess. He was only on for 45 minutes. You can't really, gauge what could have been in the second half or what could have not been, because it had been changed. So I think for me, look, poor performance. I accept why he was started. I don't think that's fully on Moyes, but he was shit, and that for me is a 3.
I think that's fair, Clive.
I would say that's fair. I've gone a bit harsh, and Lucas is feeling generous on this Sunday fucking afternoon in the USA.
All I'm saying is, I know you just said it, but when you say a 1, and I know we only played one half, but
he played one half and we held 3 in that half.
That is easily not one of the worst performances of the season.
But that's one of the worst. That's one of the worst halves of the season, and he's a part of that.
To be honest, this is the exact same thing when what was it, when you rated Thomas Souček worse than you rated Aguerd or Johnson or.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
To that later.
Yeah, but hold on a minute though. I'm going to say this though. Yeah, we held 3 in the first half. Yeah, tell me. So give me positives that he done, because one cross for a goal, but we hold 3.
Yeah. But
you've got to look at it and be real on it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
he contributed more than any of our defenders in 45 minutes.
My only thing is he wasn't,
or the whole match.
He wasn't at fault for that third goal. I mean,
he wasn't at fault for the third goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, even though you're saying we held for 3 there, we did. Yeah. But let's say he's affected in 2. One of them is slipped up and fucked up, and that's on him. The other one, I would actually argue, if you're looking at your centre backs, the middle area. The players have managed to get through 4 or 5 players that easily is a concern, and we saw that a couple of times. The time where a few minutes prior, where Souček had got the yellow card, for instance.
But you've also got to look at it.
Had to foul.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but you've also got to look at it. He did get hooked at half time and all, so that's another thing that comes into play.
No, I agree. Yeah, the left side was poor. There's no denying that the left side was horrendous, but. I think I'm just trying to say I can see where Lucas is coming from.
If Moyes did this all season, I probably wouldn't be as, I don't know. I just feel like it's unjust because he hasn't done that all season, and you know what? Who he brought on after that did fuck all.
We will get to that later.
Yeah, no, certain. I don't get it. Again, he never hooks anyone off at halftime, and while Emerson was not great. Did he deserve to get hooked at halftime when there's players all season long that have been worse than that haven't gotten hooked off at halftime? I just think it's unjust. And that's not an agenda because I like Emerson, but that's just the facts.
I will get to
he's
that.
Maybe he's maybe There's no way more than 5 times this season a player's gotten hooked at halftime by Moyes.
Right.
I think it's.
I will get to that later. Let's get to this man, Thomas Souček. Mixed bag day for him, I'm afraid. Yeah, people will say about what he done good, but for me, the error on the third goal fucking made it a mountain.
No one's going to be right on this rating, so I'm not even going to get into any debates. I'm not even going to criticize any opinion.
I will rate him. I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6, which I think is fair. Like he's assisted 2 goals, he scored a goal, but the error is fucking mad. Like it's mad. Like I look at him as a major fault in that. If we can't pass to our central midfielder, then we've got a problem. It's as simple as that. Like, and I don't know what people want him to do. Are we going to try and pass the ball round Souček because he can't control the ball? Like, no, I don't get it.
I don't think that's what we're saying. Like, my point is the vision from Aguerd in that sense.
Yeah,
I'm not excusing what Souček has done. I even said it in a group chat, didn't I? I said at the time, I was like, that was deplorable. It was disgraceful. I've got no fucking words. Plenty of things that could have been said. I mean, Souček is the majority of the fault there, but my issue is the vision prior to that. Because I don't think it's a case of not passing to Souček. It's the vision to know, like, when you're on a pitch, you don't always know if a man is coming on. And that's my problem.
Why is it so hard to just say it's both of their faults? I don't.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Because I just don't look at it like that, though, Lucas. Because look at Thomas Souček. I'll tell you the reason why. Thomas Souček is a big man. Yeah. If he's under pressure, he should have the ability to barge Jeffrey Schlupp off the fucking ball. Right. This is a little geezer. He's not even that big. The geezer. Right. He gets overpowered by Jeffrey fucking Schlupp. Like, come on, like,
and why doesn't Aguerd have the ability to see that someone is closing down on his midfielder and puts him under pressure?
But he's going to get put pressure on whoever he's against. So every game.
But like Clive said, why couldn't he have passed it to the left back? Why couldn't he have cleared it up the pitch? Why couldn't he have played it sideways?
But then
I've had that ball played to me before.
Yeah. When
I've played football. And on one occasion, it's literally gone Souček's way.
But the problem is, if Thomas Souček doesn't have a fucking touch of a fucking lamppost, like Korak said in the chat, then we're not arguing about this. If he controls the ball, then are we arguing about this?
Could you not argue for sake? You don't get to hear the pitch noise, like compared to when COVID happened and there was no fans, right? Because all you hear is the fans, but. Could you not argue that perhaps Aguerd is now, or a player has seen that this pass could land him into trouble, has shouted man on, and that's now put off your defensive midfielder?
But if that is the case,
on the ball,
but if that is the player, if that is the case, and what you're saying is correct, then basically what you do is you play a first-time pass back to Aguerd or back to Fab.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's a Premier League footballer, bruv, and he shouldn't be getting fucking dominated by Jeffrey fucking Schlupp. So I'll give him a 6. I think that's a fair rating. There's no fucking agenda with me with Souček. If he performs, then I'll rate him and I'll say he's performed. But the way I look at it is when our midfielder can't control the ball, and let's be honest, that goal killed West Ham to a point, because then yet again we have to fight back again, try and get another goal. It was just an uphill task all day, and he didn't make our life any easier, in my opinion. So I'll give him a 6. Lucas, what you saying?
What Mick said earlier. I'm gonna give him just a 6. Good first goal, and again, Souček had a good first 10 minutes. He was linking up play, passing forward. But again, like, it feels like it only lasts for so long until something happens. But I just a 6, and I agree. I think a 6 is probably the fairest result because, again, 3 goal contributions. He put us ahead. Did he draw us back up?
No, we went 3-1 down.
Yeah. Okay. So I think a 6 is fair. If someone wanted to give him a high 5, I probably also wouldn't disagree.
Yeah. Clive, what are you rating him?
So before I get to my rating.
Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good.
No,
this isn't good.
I'm building a suspense. Oh.
This isn't suspense. This is agony.
No, see, the funny thing is, I've already told WestHamOnline what my score is for this. By the way, and I think it's a fair score, but I also
brace yourself, people. Go on then.
I love to build the suspense because how I see it is, I was so excited. He got us 1-0 up. I was ready to rinse you all in that group chat. And
I know you was. Thank you very much, Lawrence. I just want to cut in a minute. Thank you very much, Lawrence, for $99 from Lawrence all the way from the US of A. Carry on, Clive.
Go O's.
And then Souček did me a dirty, to be quite frank. Like I said, I wasn't going to be, as much as I do love the man, and it's very well known that I have a big crush on Thomas Souček. He can have my kids. But I could not believe what I had seen on my TV. My big fat fucking TV that is literally right here. And my eyes were very confused with what I had seen. I was gutted. I was annoyed. I was pissed off. And more so, I felt like an angry parent that's just going to tell your child that you're disappointed. So, yeah, that is a problem. However, what I will say is, to look at the positives, the fact that he didn't lose his head and managed to then go on in the game and get 2 assists is a positive sign, I would say. Lucas, you can keep laughing. Don't worry. It's a very fair thing coming out.
Once you say the rate, I might be able to exhale.
You will. But I'm enjoying this suspense. Everyone's going to be fuming with me, and I love it. But he also made plenty of clearances.
Will you get to your fucking rating? Because I've got somewhere to be.
Second half, he made loads of clearances. I was very happy with the man. I hope he starts next game. He gets man of the match and a 6.
Terrific.
Oh yeah, I will also say my man of the match, and now I can exhale.
Thank fuck for that.
Clive.
You know what I mean?
I knew you'd. Clive, I knew you'd come in the clutch. I knew you would.
Worth every second.
That was the biggest anxiety of a rating this season by far for me.
I'm going to get the ice cream man to buy you an ice cream, mate. Fucking some of this shit. Right, let's move on to this man, Declan Rice. Lucas, take it away for Declan. Wasn't well classed yesterday, was he?
This rating is so easy. This could be the easiest rating of the night. Declan Rice, absolute passenger, didn't do a single thing yesterday, in my opinion. Of course, he won the ball once or twice, done a few roulettes, and went forward maybe 5 yards. But Declan Rice, not good enough. An absolute passenger, especially when we needed him. And he is getting a 4 from me.
Well, I'll go next. Totally agree. 4 out of 10. When people it's me saying on Wednesday, I think these kids
76% pass accuracy as well, and only 63 touches.
And do you know what? I just did not see him influence the game. That's the thing that done me. I just did not see him.
I waited all match for him to do something, and he's only done the performance he had yesterday. He's only done that maybe 3 times that I can remember, and it's a testament. It's a testament to yesterday because we had a 60% pass accuracy yesterday. That is fucking abysmal. And again, I was waiting. I was tweeting all match. I was like, when is our midfield gonna wake up?
It was terrible, mate. It was terrible. I meant my 4 out of 10. He's played every game for us, hasn't he, this season? Fucking everywhere. So, you can be a bit sort of give him a bit benefit of the doubt of a moody game from time to time. But 4 out of 10.
But that midfield we had against Schlupp, Decore, and Eze, that is absolutely one of the most disgraceful performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I agree. Listen, before I get to Clive, on his rating, I agree with Gravy Dave there. I had to check if he was on the fucking team sheet. I just didn't see him in the game.
Actually might be the worst. And Larry is right. I think this might be the lowest rating of the year for him.
I think it's the lowest rating we've ever given him on E20 ever. that's the real truth. Clive, what are you rating him before we move on?
Yeah, for me, he gets a 4. I mean, it is quite funny that we're taking the mickey out of his pass accuracy being quite low, but it was still quite high when it's compared to all the other players. That's the irony. But aside from his passing, he just didn't. It just wasn't there. And if anything, I think the reason he was probably kept on was because he was the only one that could make an accurate pass in comparison to 10 other of our players. Yeah. Which doesn't really say a lot. So yeah, he gets a 4 from me.
This is one of my issues is that, don't get me wrong, I get you're fatigued. Moyes has played practically our strongest 11, 5 matches in a row in 13 days. But when you are Declan Rice and you are a world-class midfielder or a world-class 6 that has the ability to go on runs, get past people with ease, dribble around them, when you are going up against Schlupp, Decore, and Eze, and you don't do that at all, that is taking the piss to me. Because and again, I'm not trying to degrade Crystal Palace's midfield, but we have Lucas Paqueta and Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, and I don't mind Crystal Palace, but like we are, on paper, at least, for fuck's sake, levels above them in the midfield, and they just didn't even seem interested yesterday. They didn't wake up at all.
Before I move on, I just want to say this. As a captain, he just didn't get the boys together and control the situation. That's one thing with Deck. He hasn't got the experience of a captain. Like, he's our captain, don't get me wrong. We all love him. But yesterday, there was no experience
a match to forget. That's it. I love you, Rice. If you're saying this, I love you. 10 more years, please. But yesterday was something to forget. That's it.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Move on to this man, Lucas Paqueta. Fucking hell, what a difference a few days makes. We're all praising him up, thinking he's a well beater. Yesterday, he was fucking awful, mate, in my opinion. What are you saying, Clive, for Paqueta?
Oh, I thought you were going to go Lucas for Lucas.
I've changed it.
Oh, I know. That caught me off guard. He just.
They hate when Americans use the drums at the World Cup and the MLS. They say nothing about Palace, though, huh? Nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
It was like I'd gone back 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And it was that Paqueta again. I was so confused.
But worse, passenger.
Yeah.
Before what you said, that was getting acclimated to the Premier League. Yesterday was again a pure passenger's performance. Same as Rice, but actually no, I don't even think one was worse than the other. I thought they were both just as poor as one another, and both did not make a impact at all.
And what he does, he tries to do these flicks and things like that, and you can do that if you're in a confident side, but this side, when we're up against it,
I don't remember him trying anything yesterday. I genuinely thought
he tried one thing. I remember it didn't come off.
I genuinely thought
I tell you what did happen.
He
lost a lot of his sort of like ground rules on, like anytime he had the ball in the sort of final third or anything around that, he would just lose the ball.
As much as I love his work rate, his tackling technique, and he went 2 for 2 yesterday according to FotMob. I don't know how accurate that is, but his tackling technique is one of the worst I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what it is, and I don't know how it works sometimes, but. And again, I appreciate the work rate because we're never going to have a player at this club again who probably works as hard as him and can do what he does. But just sorry to interrupt you, Clive. Finish.
No, you're all good. I think to be honest, I could rate him a low 4, but I think realistically, on the basis that he had no goal, prowess or anything to it, I think for me he's going to get a 3 on the basis of he just offered nothing. And but my thing is, he was supposed to offer things towards the goal. All 3 of the goals came from set pieces, so he had nothing, and he was on the pitch for 70 minutes. So a 3, high 3.
I agree. I 3. I keep mine short and sweet, non-existent. Do you know what I'm saying? We need him to be on the ball every game like Rice, and he wasn't yesterday. So high 3 for me. Before I do move to Lucas, I don't think it works between him and Fornells. I've always said that. I'll stick to it to the day I fucking die. It does not work. They're too similar. They play a similar way, and it's in styles. yeah, not for me. Lucas, what you saying for Paqueta?
I disagree with the both of you because I just cannot rate Rice a 4 and give Paqueta a 3. I think it's a little unfair, but again, I just disagree at the end of the day. Not a lot of argument for me, but yeah, a 4, same as Rice. Both passengers didn't impact the match at all. When they definitely can have influence, and yeah, just poor.
Poor. Let's move on to this man, Pablo Fornals. Fucking hell. But I will go first in this one because I'm not his most favourite supporter of him. But, and there's a but here, he has deserved to play games. I will say that. But yesterday he was absolutely atrocious. Ghost. Like, let's be real. People knock other man in this team who I'll get onto later, but no one mentions how bad he was in that first half. Didn't cover Emerson at all. What did he do in that first half? If someone can tell me what he really done, then I'd like to see it, but I don't hear it. I'm going to give him a 2. Like, what did he do? Like, was he a part of anything? No. Did he defend? No. What was his passing like? Fucking terrible. Not for me. So, Lucas.
Again, Moyes just confuses me every day, really. Not saying that I don't think Pablo deserved to get hooked at halftime, but I just don't understand hooking players at halftime when he doesn't do that all year, but we've seen other players who have performed just as bad not get hooked. And that's down to Moyes. Ben Rama, Cresswell, Souček.
Ben Rama's been hooked at halftime, mate.
How many times?
A good few times.
I don't
he
know.
Was hooked at,
not a few.
He was
Maybe
hooked
once.
at Brighton. He was hooked at Brighton away at halftime. So, like, players do get hooked, but you tell me what Fornell's done yesterday to deserve to stay on the pitch.
Mate, but this is what I'm saying, though. Ben Rama's played most of the season, yeah? And
correct.
he's put in more bad performances at Fornals because he's played more. But yet he doesn't get hooked at halftime. He'll get hooked at like 60th minute. Yeah. But all I'm saying is that yesterday it's just confusing to me because if Moyes has the bollocks to hook 2 at halftime, especially Emerson, who has been better than Cresswell.
Right.
Like, why hasn't he done that all year when there's been obvious players that should be getting hooked? It's just confusing to me. That's all I'm saying. But yesterday, Fornals, to me, an absolute ghost. 23.
But my argument, though, Lucas, with that is you tell me what in your eyes makes you think.
I'm not making this an argument. I'm getting to my rating. He had 23 touches. He was an absolute ghost. He didn't offer nothing, and I do believe he was deserved to get hooked at halftime. So for me, I'm going to give him a 3.
Fair enough. Clive.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because like I feel like if I was manager, which I'm not, but if I was, for me, I would never this season have ever played Fornals down that left wing. He would be, this is where you'd bench Paqueta and bring on Fornals.
When we were
exactly there.
A couple matches ago in the last match when we were defending in a 4-4-2, yeah, and Lucas Paqueta was defending as a second striker. Fornals, in my opinion, is the perfect left midfielder defending in that 4-4-2. But when we're going forward in a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, however you want to slice it, he's just not a winger, and that is down to Moyes as well.
I've said it. I've said it so many fucking times on this channel. Right, ever since I've started this channel, I have tried to preach this shit to people. Yeah, he is not a left-sided winger. Never has been. Never will be. Right, what he is, and I'll say it fucking clear as day, is he is a industrial midfielder. He breaks the ball up. He passes the ball. He's got good awareness. Right, he gets stuck in. He works hard. That is what his job description act is. And putting him as a left winger, and especially putting him in there with Paqueta. Also, who are, let's be real, they are similar players. They like to get on the ball, they like to pass the ball, they like to make things happen. So you've got 2 players doing the same job. It's like having 2 fucking Spider-Mans, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? It's just it's poor, right? And I get what people are saying, yeah. But Pablo Fornell should have played games for another man in the team this season, yeah. Not the man who was hooked and was getting a suntan. Let's put it like that. What are you rating, Clive?
For me, it's going to be a 3. The only other thing I can really say on Fornals is just, I think the only reason he started is because Cornet has been so shit when he has been on. Otherwise, you'd really have probably seen Cornet
and we needed
on that
to rotate,
wing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And what fucking brilliant idea to hook 2 players that you need to rotate to get others rest. It just again, that just doesn't make any sense from Moyes, especially when all year there's been several players that have put in shit performances week in, week out, 4 or 5 matches in a row, never got hooked at halftime. It makes no sense. None.
I know. But we will move on to this man, Jared Bowen. Someone tell me what he done good yesterday.
Passed the ball well for only making 19 attempts. First half, I actually thought he was our only decent player. But again, that's not a lot to rave about because everyone else was so shit. But he was the best out of a horrible bunch, but his best wasn't even that great. 4 out of 5 ground duels won, 1 for 1 in his tackles, dribbled past somebody, 1 for 1 in his dribbles. He only had 31 touches, 15 for 19 out of his passes, so 79%. But again, a passenger. I don't know if that's necessarily down to his fault. It's same with Fornals, but I think Fornals had more opportunities to make an impact in the build-up than Bowen. So Bowen, for me, again, first half, thought he was decent. I probably would have given him a 5.
Yeah.
Second half, I think he was a little bit worse than first half, but I think a 5 is just 5 is fair for Bowen, in my opinion.
I'll go next, short and sweet again. 5 out of 10, standard performance for him. It's just standard. Like it was just, what did he really? He wasn't effective. He tried. He's a trier. Give him his due. He works hard, and he has a go. I'll give him all that. When you've got to deal with Kufal, keep hoofing balls down that fucking right-hand side, and you've got to keep chasing lost causes all the time, it's a problem, isn't it? So I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Clive, what you saying?
I'm going to give him a 4 just on the basis of considering I've given other people in the front half of the sort of, or final third anyways, so far I've given them 3s on the basis of they've achieved fuck all. I can't really give Bowen much higher than a 3, and for me it's a 4. He hardly had the ball, wasn't effective. It was basically non-existent. In part, yes, because Sufal was not accurate with his passing, but also in part, Bowen just was non-existent.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. 100%. Move on to this man, Mikel Antonio. I'll go first on this one. Me and Lucas disagreed on the after fault yesterday. I thought he worked fucking hardest. He tried his hardest. Antonio. I know people get frustrated with him, and listen, I'm not his biggest fucking fan, right? And people know that, and Lucas definitely knows that, yeah. But I've got to give him his due. He was having a fight with that fucking central defender yesterday, literally all the fucking time. Anderson, I think it was. He scored a goal. He could have scored the second goal.
That wasn't a fight. He got molested.
Yeah, he got fucking manhandled, mate. He's a trier. He was. I felt for him yesterday, really, because he was just running around, and he was fucking just running around like an headless chicken. For the goal, and for how hard he worked, I give him a high 5 out of 10. Just not a 6 for me. His hold-up play is a problem, and the ball does bounce off him. And Sam Mitchell said yesterday, I wish I make Mitchell 100% right. When Ayew was getting the ball, he was sticking to his feet. When Antonio was getting it, was bouncing off all over the gaff. So, high 5 out of 10 for me. Clive?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. He could have done a lot more. At the same time, there was fouls that should have been given that were something's going on in Essex down in James End.
No, that's me.
Oh, is it you? Shit.
The feds are coming in to get you. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, no, it's it's a
The
difficult
block
one
is hot,
because
boys. The block is hot.
yeah, it's a difficult one because it's he was getting fouled. The ref weren't calling it. At the same time, though, is there more Antonio could have done? Yes, in my eyes. Yes, he did get a goal, but ultimately, a high five probably is the right answer here. He wasn't that effective in the game, and ultimately, set pieces are set pieces, but he didn't have to do a lot with those headers.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. Lucas, what are you saying for Antonio?
I just got word the police are in my neighborhood because they heard your Emerson rating and they want to raid my house. They want to raid my gaff.
Yeah, I mean, we've moved on to Antonio, bro. Carry on.
Antonio, I wouldn't say I disagreed with you yesterday. My only thing I said, or the only thing I feel passionate about from yesterday is that his hold-up play it wasn't good enough. And it shows in some of the stats. Like, he only made 6 passes, 3 for 6 in his passes. He got depossessed 4 times. He made 1 pass into the final third. 3 out of his 9 ground duels won. 3 out of 10 in the air. It's not good enough. But again, he made the runs. He fought with Anderson all day, and I'll be honest with you, I do not know how Anderson was still on the pitch. He committed at least 3 blatant yellow card fouls that I don't know how he was still on the pitch personally. But again, Antonio was making the runs, good effort, scored an absolute sitter, which he should be scoring. Good for him. But again, the hold-up play. There was one moment I remember he tried taking on 5 Palace defenders when all he had to do was hold the ball up, and he had 3 or 4 behind him going forward with him, and he could have created a fleet of a counterattack. But I don't know. I guess he thinks he can take on an army. But for me, I'm actually going to give him just a 6 because I think he was on par with Souček. Obviously less mistakes, but he was a little underwhelming, but he scored, and I only really thought one aspect of his game was not that great. So I'm going to give him just a 6.
Just a 6 for Mikel Antonio. Right, now, people, we get to the subs. We'll start off with Cornet first, because we're obviously going to talk about other players. No point rating him.
How long did Cornet play for?
He come on the 88th minute, courtesy of David
I'm not
Morris.
rating him. I'm not rating him.
So we move on to him. Danny Ings runs around. Danny Ings runs around the lot. It's 125 grand a week, stealing a living. Aston Villa must be pissing themselves laughing at West Ham. Fuck me. They took us for an absolute bunch of hillbilly cunts. Shit. Just shit.
5. He offers literally nothing. He presses hard, but in slow motion. Like I said, he's the slowest jackrabbit that might have ever lived. He is a jackhammer without a battery.
Yeah, he's fucking shit, mate.
So far,
yeah. Do you know what I mean? All right, we'll move on to where is he? This man, Saeed Ben Rama. This is gonna be interesting. For me, I don't like what I'm seeing on fucking Twitter. Yeah, and I understand people's criticism. There's criticising a man. There is. But then there's criticising the man to a point of literally gaslighting this geezer and fucking constantly abusing this geezer. Yeah. Was he worse than any other man yesterday? No. Right? There's a lot of worse players on the pitch than him, I believe. Yeah. I see a video on Twitter and people are saying about him not applauding the fans. And then in the same video, Lucas Paqueta is in the video, but he's not mentioned. Why? For me, there is an agenda here with Ben Rama. Was he good yesterday? He was shit. It's going from me. Yeah, pointless. Waste of time of him coming on the pitch. The only thing that he done yesterday that was any good was get a tan from the bench. But I just think it's disgusting. I really do. And I will fucking back this geezer up. If he's shit, I will say, sorry, Ben Rama, you are shit, bruv. But if he's good, or he's deserves to be respected a little bit, I will back him up. Simple as that. And I just feel he's an easy scapegoat in a minute. Do you know what I mean? So I rate him a 3 out of 10 for putting the shirt on, the boots on, and dyeing his hair fucking blonde. Other than that, pointless him being on the pitch. Clive.
Hello. I was going to joke around and say 0, but but I don't know if you take that very well. So I'm going to go with my honest rating, which will be a 3 as well, to be honest. Didn't really offer anything up top. I gave all of my others, with the exception of Bowen, a 3 in terms of the attacking final third, because they offered, well, I mean, no one in our final third really offered much. So yeah, he fits in with my 3 scale for today.
Can I ask you a question before I get to Lucas? Yeah, and I'll put it to both of you. When you look at the criticism that he gets, forget the Player of the Year, because the Player of the Year, Declan Rice will win Player of the Year. Yeah, we all know it. We all know Declan Rice is fucking levels above everyone at our club. But when you look at the abuse and the disrespect that the man gets, and let's be honest, he was a second half sub. He didn't do a lot, but we held 3 in the first half, 1 in the second half. But everyone loves to type Saeed Benrahma's name. I just want to know what you lads think on like social media.
I don't think Benny's the only one though, because I said this to you yesterday in the afterthought, didn't I? Like there were certain people that, and obviously I think everyone's aware of my love of Souček, but I'm going to use him as a prime example here for the precise reasoning of what I saw yesterday, right? I'm not going to mention the person's name. I'm not going to say anything of it, but Souček scores. There was nothing on their timeline for a starter. That's fine. I don't care about that. What I care about
I'll tell you whose timeline it was on.
I know. Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, I know. Because as soon as he made an error, I get tweeted.
I have never, and this is what's bullshit about these agendas. I have never not celebrated a West Ham goal. I don't care who fucking scores it.
That's
exactly that. Yeah,
we literally are looking at specific players and going and being like, "Oh, I told you so," or whatever. Fuck it. I would rather not be told you so, and would rather be like, yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Did I celebrate as loudly as possible about Souček when he scored? 100%. Did I also go, what the fuck happened when he fucking did what he did? Yes, I did.
Right.
The thing for me is, as West Ham fans or a fan base, we should be celebrating every single fucking player who is employed by West Ham United. It doesn't matter. If they score, if it's a fucking cracking goal, if it's a fucking tap in, I don't give a shit who it is. It could be fucking Thomas Souček, or it could be fucking Maxwell Cornet after playing for the shitty plays that he's done so far. I couldn't give a shit. Heck, Fabianski could score a fucking screamer from a corner for all I fucking care. I don't care. If it goes in, I'm celebrating, I'm happy. But for some reason, we seem to be stuck on certain players, and some are getting more abuse than others, or being targeted. And as soon as they do a bad thing, it's like, ha ha! Like, why are we celebrating them doing a bad thing?
I don't rate Danny Ings at all, but if he scores, I'm going to celebrate and tweet like he's the greatest player that has ever put on Player in Blue.
One thing I will say, like, just to cut in there, I had a disagreement with a journalist about it, right? Mr. Steinberg, or Jacob Steinberg, or whatever his name is, right? And it is gaslighting. I've read up on it, and it's just people igniting fucking hate towards this geezer. Now, if you can tell me, like, if any other players were worse than him, I don't see anyone mention Pablo Fornells yesterday. I don't see anyone mention Declan Rice yesterday. I don't really see anyone mention Paqueta yesterday, or Bowen. Yeah, and they was on the pitch a lot longer than Benny. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just feel, and it ain't no fanboy approach, because you can look at it and say, well, I'm very balanced with him. I will say when he's shit. I don't see other people saying when he's good. All I keep saying is it's the negative all the time.
For me, to answer your question,
the one player. Sorry,
go ahead, Clive.
No, I was going to say the one player that I would say would always escape the criticism is always going to be Rice, on the basis of how many games that he'd done or been quite decent or successful in. So, no one's going to slag him off for one bad game. If he had a string of bad games, that's a different scenario, I think. But I think the only other reason that I'd say Benny has got as much stick as he has is because as soon as someone is highlighted for as much as they've been highlighted for early into the season, where everyone was saying hammer of the year, stuff like that, you're always, as soon as you draw attention to a specific player to that level, then he is always going to be critiqued. I don't necessarily agree with the critiquing that he's had, but you could also argue Benny isn't the only player that's getting that criticism, like I pointed out with Souček, or I'm sure there are other players as well, but just to highlight.
For me, to answer your question, you're probably not going to like it, but I said it yesterday as well. The Fornals Benrahma agenda, whatever side you're on, I do not have a side. I'm in the middle, as I always am. I am the famous and notorious sit on the fence guy, because I always feel like that's the best approach. But I think people that don't like Benrahma, who like Fornals, think the same way as vice versa, and that's just my opinion. I've seen it all.
Hasn't there got to be a balance though, Lucas? Like, because listen,
yes, there has, but like what you're saying, like, I think some of that comes down to everyone was ranting and raving about Benrahma, hammer of the year, yada yada yada. But in my opinion, I really don't think he's been that good. I think he's been above average at best.
Right, but have we been good as a team?
Huh?
But have we been good as a team?
No.
Right, so that is my answer to you. If we was good as a team and he was bang average, I would 1,000% agree with you. But I can't agree with you when the rest of the team hasn't been great. There's only really been one man who's been pretty consistent for the majority of the season. That is Deck. Other than that, Bowen's been in and out of form. Like Mitch was calling for Cornet to come in for him. Fornals should have played more games. Benrahma should have been dropped on certain occasions. I can accept
my
that.
My only thing is that people keep, and I'm not, this isn't towards anyone, but this is just what I see on Twitter. People are trying to say that this person is being more wrongfully treated than the other, and vice versa. Like, you're not going to win in these debates, because Fornals people who don't like Benrahma and vice versa, they feel the same exact way, and it's just going to keep going in a circle and a circle. No one is right.
What you rated him, Lucas?
3. He was shit yesterday. That touch in the box and the cross was shameful. And the thing for me is, it's just a shame, because like, it was just such an important moment. He came on to make an impact.
He didn't.
Just disappointed, and he wasn't worse or better than Fornals. And I tweeted yesterday, I find it hilarious. I mean, besides us losing, I just find it funny with the whole Benrahma Fornals debate and agenda that, you know what, all of you are wrong. They're both fucking shit.
Fair point.
And we can all laugh.
Let's move on to this man, Aaron Cresswell. Lucas, go.
Shit, and more shit. Shit. Didn't make an impact. A certain someone said yesterday that he done more and did better than a certain someone that got subbed off. That is an absolute blatant lie. Again, I'm not saying that Emerson didn't deserve to get hooked at halftime. And I'm going to continue to say what Moyes done yesterday is very confusing, because if he would have done that about 10, 15 times this season, who knows how many points we would have rescued. Whether that be Fornals coming on for Benrahma coming on for Fornals, Flynn Downs for Souček, Fornals for Souček, like yada yada yada. It doesn't matter. But the fact that Moyes doesn't do that, and he did that yesterday, it just throws a spanner in the mix and makes you question and think about things. But the overall point, again, same with Benrahma Fornals. There's now an Emerson Cresswell thing going on, which is just ridiculous. And again, it's funny. Cresswell done absolutely fuck all. He didn't do more than Emerson.
Yeah.
He didn't do less. They were both shocking.
For me, it's sentimental with West Ham yet again.
3.
3 out of 10. I agree. 3 out of 10 for me. I
Oh,
make
wait,
mine
no, sorry, 4. I gave Emerson a 4. Cresswell gets a 4.
I'm going to give him a 3. I just don't rate this geezer anymore. Like, he was good years ago. He can cross the ball in, but he can't defend. It's as simple as that. I'm going to say this. For me, it's all sentimental with West Ham with him. He shouldn't, like, this new contract is for the British quota, of players. It's not for the ability of the player. It's just to keep him here to sort of up our sort of English British quota. He was done last year for me, right? And he shouldn't have been here this year, really. He should have been gone this season. Emerson should have come in with another left back. Do you know what I'm saying? A younger
Cresswell
left back.
at present is a decent to all right backup left back in the Premier League. He is finished as a starter.
I don't even think he's that, mate, because when he's up against pace, he gets done. When he can't really defend, he can cross a ball. But I want the defenders to defend first before they can sort of cross a ball. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I just have to say, when him and Ben Rama got subbed on at halftime yesterday, and the first bit of action they done was a 1-2 together, and it miserably failed and just rolled out to the sideline. I literally just threw my hands up and said, what the fuck have I just seen? And again, with all the bullshit that goes on, it's just funny. Because there's people that think one's better than the other. They stick up for whoever. Both shit yesterday.
I agree. Clive, what are you rating him?
For me, he gets a low 4. One thing I will say is he made more clearances than Emerson did. Looking at the fact they both played 45 minutes, for instance, I'm not trying to say that Cresswell was good. He wasn't. But what I would say is none of our back line has fucking pace, which is a problem. And until we start getting... especially the left and the right side, you need pace. I mean, look at some of the other teams. You look at Liverpool. You look at you could look at a few teams, but I'm just going to say Liverpool for one. But I mean, you look at what they achieve with the pace down the sides, and usually it's pretty top notch. Not this season, but typically. So 4.
Good man. Move on to this man. Fucking what an absolute prick this geezer was.
Wait, have you not missed one?
No, I haven't. That's everyone.
Ogbonna. Did we do Ogbonna?
Oh, fuck me. We didn't do Ogbonna. How can I forget fucking him? Sorry about that, Oggy. We will go. Well done, mate. Let's go Ogbonna then. What we saying about Ogbonna? He comes on, it all goes curtains.
I mean, within seconds of him coming on, we go 2-1 down, really, isn't it? So, it was around then. But I don't think he's the only one at fault. Like I say, the way they managed to get through like 4 or 5 players without being like fouled and stuff like that, that's on everyone in this sort of back area. So, I think for me, Oggy gets the treatment of all my other defenders so far. A 3. I'm just going to go with that. A 3. It wasn't great. He could get away with a 4, but I'm just going to say 3.
I will agree. Lucas, what you saying?
Just a 4. Again, he's a decent backup, but his time is slowly coming to an end. Unfortunately, I do love the man, but he's starting to lose a bit of his ball playing ability. Not saying that he was a great ball playing center half, but like he was decent, but he's starting to lose that decent ability. There were some times yesterday where like he got the ball and he's facing to pass it back to a Garrett or Fabianski when he's got Fornals and Paqueta, and there's only one defender in between them where he can advance the ball and we could possibly start an attack. Yeah, and he just didn't do it. But just a 4 for me. I didn't think he was bad, but not 3 for me. And I just like Clive, I'm gonna keep it consistent with my defenders. 4.
Yeah. Fair enough, mate. We move on to this man, the referee. I say it again, Craig Paulson. You fucking wrong. I don't even want to go to Lucas. I think Lucas is going to lose his shit with him. I thought he was absolutely atrocious. Why has he not looked at the penalty? That's the question that I need to ask. If they're thinking about it in VAR, shouldn't he just have the audacity just to walk 30 yards across the pitch to a screen and go, that's not a pen. Right, it's just not a pen. Why wasn't Anderson fucking booked on Antonio? Amount of times he manhandled him. Amount of times he let things go for them and literally give us fuck all. I'm giving him a fucking 2, mate, for putting his fucking shit on. Absolute atrocious. Clive, what you saying?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of questions. I don't think it's just fully on the ref. I think it's also on VAR, for instance, with the penalty. VAR should be telling the ref to go over to the monitor, which obviously didn't happen. That's not down to the ref. That's down to VAR. So that is a problem. I have problems with inconsistencies. It was still early into the game, albeit a London derby. But if you're going to book Souček for the foul that he committed, then the Palace bookings are inevitable in the first half. None were given, and it was so inconsistent. I can't deal with inconsistencies. It really infuriates me. So poor show from the ref. It's a 1. It's a diabolical performance from him.
Lucas?
Almost as bad as our defending.
I honestly can't find the words anymore. It's such a toxic mix because like it's such like a West Ham thing, and then just overall the ability or the talent of officiating in the country for the best league in the world is so below standard. It's ridiculous. I've seen better officiated matches in the MLS, the USL, which is the league below MLS. I see better officiating in the fucking A League of Australia. And I'm not joking. The whole country, the whole league, the whole country, it needs to be reassessed because it's that fucking bad. And VAR is so fucking corrupt. They need to change a rule where with something like that, it doesn't matter how strongly the ref feels about a decision. They still need to go to the monitor because there's been times where refs feel so strongly about their opinion and they still cannot be more fucking wrong about what they saw. And it's shit like that. Liverpool, Chelsea, yesterday, fucking all the time with West Ham. That shit affects us. I don't care if it's just a point. Look,
you're forgetting Southampton away.
If we get a point, if we get 2 points this week, we're safe. I'm chilling. I don't care about the rest of the season besides the Conference League. But it's fucking it is corrupt. But it's a shame that like it happened in a Palace West Ham match when I fully expect that in West Ham, Liverpool, United.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Chelsea, whatever. It's just fucking bullshit. And the only way I can see this being fixed is if they make these refs go to the monitor every time, because I fucking hate VAR. But if you're going to have a video assistant referee, use it to its full fucking capabilities. I know it's bullshit that sometimes they take 6 minutes to get the call right, but I want the call to be right. I don't want it to be fucked. And then the second thing, they need, just like an 85-year-old woman or man that wants to drive on the road, they need to be retested. They need to be reassessed. Like,
they get reassessed every season.
Because like I said, it is a sham that the MLS, the league below, the A-League, everywhere has better officiating and ability than the Premier League, the best league in the world. It's fucking bullshit. And Craig Paulson, that fucking cunt, gets a negative fucking 50, and he's lucky. I'm not giving him 100 because 100 is federal jail. That is lock him up, handcuffs. Yesterday, night in jail. Cunt. Fuck you, Craig Paulson.
Emotional damage.
Fair enough. We'll move on. Final rating of the evening is this man, David fucking Moyes. People say he's the Messiah. People say he's the man who's going to lead us to glory. But this man can't even change a team in like fucking. He makes 2 changes in 6 fucking days. Right. First off, best way of doing this is I want all your ratings. now, and we'll discuss him, and then we'll wrap. What are you saying? A 4.
4. 4.
What are you saying, Lucas, for him?
4.
I'm going to go 3. I'm not being different, right? And I'll tell you the reason why, and then I'll bring you lads in. For me, when you change the left-hand side, there's changing the left-hand side, but it's changing the left-hand side with purpose. He done nothing the other day, right? He changed the left-hand side, but playing Fornells and Paqueta together just does not work. It's the same thing with what it was like when it was with Lanzini and Fornells. Yeah, they're two similar players. I understand Emerson coming in, but Fornells being there, if you're going to change it, go with Cornet. You know he's pacey, right? Give him a go. Do you know what I'm saying? I think the way West Ham played was shocking defending, and that's not on him. But why are none of these players being like? Why was there no rotation against Liverpool? Why is he not rotated more against Palace? Like, these players are fucked. And let's be real, we lost that because we was fighting a losing battle in that game. We were just never going to get into it. That was the tactic second half. Just chuck players on and hope for the best. That's basically how it seemed to me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. What are you saying, Clive?
So for me, the reason he gets a 4 is on the basis of if you're going to make changes, I'm a strong believer of not changing just one side, or like if you're going to make 2 changes, do one on the left and one in the middle, or
Agree
one
on
on the left or something like that. For me, it's like you're basically going the whole left side's getting rejigged all in one go, which says to me like, if you're a player that's going to play alongside, so whether it's Paqueta, whether it's Rice or any even the centre backs, for instance, like those players play a different style. Emerson plays a different style to Cresswell, perhaps, or Fornals plays a different style to Benny. Every player offers something different. So to change both of your left side is a bit of a fuckery from Moyes, in my opinion. However, the positives I'll give Moyes is, I know he came out and said, he tried something different. It didn't necessarily work. At the end of the day, formation was similar. The fact that he managed, the fact that the Palace players managed to get through 4 or 5 players quite easily the way they did, it says more about our players than perhaps the manager in that aspect. You could argue they're getting leggy because of the amount of games they're playing. You could also argue the fact of that we just can't cope with the pace. If you look at the front 4 of Palace, they're all quite pacey players.
It was a total failure from everyone.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And from a positive side, you could also argue that clearly they did their homework on Palace, because all 3 of our goals came from set piece play, which is clearly a sign of weakness from Palace. And 3 goals typically would see a victory, or at least a very minimum a draw. But in this occasion, and I found a fun fact, I believe this is our 6th ever loss when scoring 3 goals. The 5 other losses have always been at home, and they've all been at Upton Park.
Lucas, what you saying for David Moyes, mate?
Again, just a total failure from all fronts. Players were shit. Moyes didn't get anything right. Again, I just think it's so easy to tell if the players are the reason we lost, the manager is because of his tactics, or if it's a total blunder. And yesterday was about as easy as it gets when assessing just a total failure. The rotation, not enough rotation. Even though Cornet has been shocking. I mean, I think Fornals deserved to start, but obviously didn't work. So hindsight's great. But and thank you, Steve, top man. Thank you so much for the donation.
Big up, Mr. Steve Bell. Carry on, mate.
But I just feel like I need to see Cornet start on the left wing once, so I can give him like a fair assessment, because I'm sick of seeing him come off the bench and just seeing him live offside and all that. I would like to see him get a chance to start on the left wing, but Moyes, he tried something different. It fit. So he finally made subs at halftime. that didn't fucking work. But again, like I said, it pisses me off because it just puts so many doubts and questions into my head. If he'd done what he did yesterday, but like let's say 10 times throughout the season, we probably wouldn't be in the mess we are, in my opinion. I think we'd be a bit farther ahead. Not a lot, but like in my opinion, I think we'd be at the 40-point mark. But so Moyes, not great yesterday, which makes things tough on Wednesday. If I was Moyes, I saw in the chat, so credit to whoever said it. I can't remember, but show yourselves after I say it. But I fully expect a 5 in the back on Wednesday in a full rotation and playing as many fit defenders as possible, because I will bite your hand off for a 2-0 defeat right now. Honestly, anything less than 3, I think we can walk away and be like, you know what, we move on.
It's ain't.
But have we got City first, or have we got
City first? United Sunday 7:00.
So, in my opinion, we rotate as heavily as possible, especially in defense. So Wednesday, I would like to see Cresswell, Emerson, Kerr, Ogbonna, and then Johnson or Sufa. I really could give a shit less because it really doesn't matter. And then I would like to see even possibly Cornet play on the wing, because he at least would give us some sort of counter-attacking threat.
I would rather play him up front, mate. If I'm being honest,
I think he needs to be in there. But yeah, Moyes, he gets a 4 for me just because his ideas didn't work, his rotation didn't work, his halftime subs didn't work. But again, there was a good amount of players that were absolutely shit yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to say this before I wrap this up with you. Obviously, Man City. We've just said it about 5 at the back. I would go that system. I'd try and just stop them at all costs. Do you know what I'm saying? The problem I have with the situation now is we're not safe yet. Even though the results are going for us and people are cheering other teams fucking scoring a 94th minute winner, this is not good. This is not good. And the problem is, the sooner West Ham are safe, the sooner we can concentrate on the conference. We've lost Zuma now, which is a bit of a blow.
I don't think it's a big injury to Zuma.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not saying anything yet. People see him in a walking boot, but literally,
that's a protective boot.
They always do that.
Yeah, but
you could literally bruise your pinky toe, and you're walking away in a boot.
Yeah.
I think he's done his muscle. He's probably out for 10 days maximum, maybe 14.
Basically, as long as we get him back for AZ, which is the main one. I think the Man City one is the damage limitation, totally. Manchester United is an interesting one for me, because West Ham always get up for against United. Whenever time we play United, especially at home,
we get up, but so does another third party in that match. They're always up. They're always up for something. They're always up for a bit of corruption, a bit of bullshit. The fucking cunts. I fucking hate playing them every time something happens. Every single time.
Right. I'm going to say this to you, before I wrap this up. If we don't get no points at the next 2, how do you West Ham approach AZ?
Real quick, I want to make Alfie correct on this, and I think he's right, and it's a bit sad. I think we're all just going to have to be complacent that we're probably going to finish 16th with the way things are going. 16th is looking about bang on. And I know it's a bit rough.
Yeah, because Bournemouth are on 39 now. They won Leeds 4-1 today. So, yeah, I think realistically we're looking at 15th at the very best.
And I know that's really close. That's really, really close. And it's not where we'd like to be. But mathematically speaking, in the way things could fall, I can't see us get going better than 16th or 15th. 14th from Joan. That's a decent shout, but again, am I gonna like it? Am I gonna like it? Is it gonna make me nervous and anxious finishing 16th? Absolutely, but I can't see an improvement on that. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, how I see it is, if you actually look at the fixtures of all the other teams, I mean, my concerns, I'm not too worried. Like, how I see it is we've got 2 games where, and it's not ideal because it will be after the first leg at least, and then, the second leg will happen in between these games. But, we've got games that we could theoretically win, and that will be Leeds and potentially even Leicester.
Right.
But when you look at all the other teams, like for instance, Nottingham Forest,
Touch wood.
they've got 2 out of 4 of the games where they look fucking ridiculous. I mean, they've got Chelsea. I know Chelsea are a bit of a weird one, but Forest are away. They've got Arsenal. Yes, they've got Southampton, and yes, they've got Palace. But do I see Forest getting more than 3 or 4 points? At best,
but do you know what though, Clive?
4 points.
Do you know what? Last season, when we had Man City away, we lost. Manchester United at home, we lost. Brentford away, we lost. Leeds at home, we lost. And Leicester away, we drew. Mm-hmm. We can't afford to do that in the last 5 games of the season.
No, I appreciate and get that, but I just look at most of these teams' fixtures, and I just think I've always said 34 points is what will keep us up, even if it's on goal difference. Yeah. And I stand by that because, I mean, I look at Everton. If Everton and Leicester, if one of those teams wins, maybe my outlook will change slightly tomorrow night. But, I mean, after that, Everton have got Brighton, Man City. Wolves is where they could probably pick up points. And my only concern is they've got Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are basically safe.
I'm not worried. I'm going to be real. I'm not worried about no other teams because if we sort our shit out, then we'll be fine. The problem
we're not going to get many points in the next 2 games, so that's why I am looking at everyone else's fixtures.
That's bang on, Clive.
I think if we had Leeds or if we had Leicester after the Man City game midweek, if we had one of those 2 teams,
I'd 1,000% not give an absolute toss about anyone around us.
Exactly, but the fact is, to put it bluntly, the best case scenario is I think we escape with 1 point out of the next 6 possible points.
Because we're going up against, in my opinion, the best team in the world, and then Corruption FC every time we play United. Every single time.
Yeah, but do you know what though? Do you know the problem that we have? If West Ham do the job against AZ, they're going to rest fucking players for that final.
But I will. What was your original question? I know I kind of took it off rail a bit.
Well, basically, I look at it like this: AZ game's massive. Time we get to AZ, the Brentford game, we could be in the shit, bruv. Like that. I'm not going to lie. Like if we lose the next 2 and teams do pull out a dodgy result, because let's be honest, these teams are fighting for their lives.
So we have City Wednesday.
Yeah.
Manchester United Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday, because then we've got West Ham on Thursday the 11th.
Okay, so AZ's on Thursday.
Yeah,
and then Brentford Sunday.
Yeah, and then AZ again the following week, and then Leeds.
Is Brentford home or away?
Away.
Brentford's away.
In my opinion, what I would do, AZ at home first. We play our absolute strongest 11, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and Brentford, because of how they've been this season, do I think on paper we're better than Brentford? Absolutely, but that doesn't matter anymore. Form-wise and where we are on the table, that is a must-not lose. And I think, and this is fact. This is fact. Obviously opinion, but this is fact in my head.
Right.
Whenever we play Brentford, we always lose because we have more of the ball. If we play our strongest team on Thursday and then we rotate on Sunday, in my opinion, that automatically sets us up to not have the ball. And when do we play our best? When we don't dominate the ball.
But the problem is, though, with that...
And I think if we take that approach, we could get a point away at Brentford.
I genuinely think, regardless, the first leg of the semi-final, we're going to play our strongest. It's what the result of that first leg is that will depend on the second leg. Because the first leg, they're without their top assist player, and he's an influential player, and they're without their top goal scorer because both are suspended for the first leg.
Yeah.
For me, that is a huge reason to go, we need to take this first leg seriously.
We win 3-0.
Exactly. If we do that, we can even contemplate playing a different method in that second leg.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it like this. West Ham have to do the job against AZ in the first leg. I want West Ham to do a demolition job on this team in the first leg, and basically go over to Holland in the second leg, set up in a way to come and break us down. Like that's what I want, because I think when West Ham are like that, they're hard to penetrate. If West Ham set up in a sort of block and go, right, we will hit you on the counter, you come and try and break us down. West Ham could do the job by that time. I agree with what Richard's just said there. This fixture, this is really worrying.
And I agree as well. In my opinion, it would put me more at ease if, say, we had City, United, AZ, and then instead of Brentford, we had Leicester or Leeds, then Brentford, and then Leicester or Leeds. But the fact that our essentially our two easiest matches are the last two matches, or I mean, even if you want to put Brentford in there, even because they always give us a match, but they are beatable, or we can get a point. The fact that those three matches are the very last three of the season is, of course, worrying and anxiety filled.
And also, when they are the last games of the season, which they are, at that point, it could literally be, because I mean, it will be the penultimate game and the final game of the season.
And
these
again,
two teams could still be staying in the league, which is what makes it even worse, because then every player goes do or die attitude, and that's the worst.
But then again, like Fever, you talk about like we shouldn't be worrying about other teams, and I totally agree in a perfect world. But for all we know, those bottom three right now and Forest, they could shit themselves, and somehow, some way, we might be out of the shit by the time we play Brentford. But again, I don't want that mentality.
I don't think it goes down to Brentford.
Clive is right. There is nothing more dangerous than someone with willpower. The most dangerous people in the world.
I'm going to say this, I don't think it's the Brentford game that's the bigger game. I think it's the Leeds game at home. I think personally, you will know where West Ham are after the AZ.
It just depends on the results, because, like I said,
if West Ham beat AZ,
I think if things unfold,
then we'll be fine.
If things unfold in a certain way, we just might need a point against Brentford, and we're safe. But again, I don't want to go in with that mentality at all.
Yeah, I'll just say this quickly. I don't, as I say, I don't think it's the Brentford game that's the key one. I think it's the Leeds one. I think if West Ham beat AZ, we're all vibing, we're all loving it. Oh, we're off to Prague, great. And I think that could go into the Leeds game. I think we can get the job done against Leeds. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I look at it that we're not safe. Yeah, it's fucking going to be nerve-wracking over the next 3 or 4 weeks, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, gentlemen. That's been Clive down the bottom there, and that's been Lucas. Please do smash a like on the video, and please do subscribe to E20 Zone TV. Thank you very much for all the donations tonight and super chats. They go a long way. They really help out the channel.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Thomas. And thank you, Larry. Go O's.
Yeah. And Mitchell and WestHamOnline will be returning. They have not been sacked yet. So, yeah, they're just busy tonight. And it's funny, when West Ham plays shit, we never see West Ham online, ever. But, you know, is what it is. And yeah, listen, I'll be back in a week to do a Manchester City preview. And obviously Wednesday night, cover the game, do it all over again. And then towards the back end of the week, I've got a Manchester United female coming on the channel. So that'd be interesting, see what she's got to say about her club. So yeah, I will see you then. Anyway, try and enjoy your bank holiday weekend, wherever you are. And yeah, just keep the faith, people. Fucking, this is West Ham, mate. They never fail to give us anxiety and fucking stress. But anyway, from me,
do one.
You heard him.
There it is. I've never found a love like this.